I'd like to begin by introducing you to someone. Meet Durga. Like any 12-year-old, she's bright, bubbly, and loves school. Last week, Durga began menstruating. Now, even as she partakes in the festivities that mark her initiation into adulthood, her eyes reveal a profound sense of sadness, even regret. Durga doesn't know if she can attend school anymore. Durga is not alone. Over 25% of girls in rural India drop out of school when they first begin menstruating. Why? Why is something that's as natural and inevitable as the act of getting your period causing such a pandemic of dropouts? In order to answer this question, we must understand the context in which these girls reside. Take a look at this image. Over 95% of women in rural India use a combination of mud, rags, and ash in lieu of sanitary napkins when on their period. The thought makes us cringe, and the first question that springs to mind is why? Why are 95 out of 100 Indian women using thoroughly inadequate and extremely unhygienic contraptions when on their period? There are two parts to the answer, and the first has to do with an absence of access. What this means most simply is that the cost of pads is just too high. At between rupees 40 and 60, they constitute 6% of a rural household's average income. In real terms, this represents a trade-off between a month's supply of sanitary napkins and 15 kilograms of rice. Why should households be spending on the former when they could be spending on the latter? They don't. But an absence of access only provides us with half the picture of why sanitary health products are so severely underused in rural India. The second half has to do with an absence of knowledge. The Indian Council of Medical Research estimates that 6 out of 10 mothers never talk to their daughters about menstruation. Consequently, these girls view their menarche with a mixture of fear, guilt, and disgust. They grow up believing that they are impure when menstruating and are constrained from everyday activities such as praying, entering the kitchen, or even touching male members of their family. Menstruation is viewed as a handicap. Having an absence of access to low-cost sanitary pads, they fear the embarrassment of staining their clothes when in school. Having an absence of knowledge about the importance of menstrual health, they experience feelings of debilitation when on their period. They begin missing a week of school every month, fall behind in their studies, and ultimately drop out. An absence of access and knowledge also results in adverse health outcomes, wherein women who aren't using sanitary pads are 5 to 6 times more likely to contract reproductive tract infections. They also experience higher maternal mortality rates and may even suffer from fatal toxic shocks. Perhaps the worst aspect of this phenomenon is that it perpetuates in a vicious cycle wherein the girls who've dropped out of school are precluded from accessing knowledge about the importance of menstrual health. Like their mothers, they don't engage in dialogue with their daughters, don't earn high incomes, and don't place a high priority on the menstrual health of their daughters. The poor social standing of women is also perpetuated by retrogressive stereotypes regarding their impurity. This isn't just a loss to women, it's a loss to entire communities who lose half their workforce for 50 days a year, who now have half the number of educated people and can earn half the income otherwise possible. And this brings us to our gendered innovation. If we are to curtail high dropout rates and prevent adverse health outcomes, then we must begin by analyzing the socio-cultural factors that shape the decisions and actions of our beneficiaries. And within this framework, design an engineering innovation process that addresses the dual knowledge access imperative, our gendered innovation. I propose that a dual strategy of providing access through low-cost pads and culturally sensitive knowledge through fib booklets encompasses our desired gendered innovation. Each of these has been successfully leveraged in different parts of India to improve menstrual health. The key task now is to club the two and scale it up. This is A. Muruganantham, who is a high school dropout and has taken it upon himself to improve the menstrual well-being of women in India by providing them access to low-cost pads through his invention, a machine that manufactures these pads. As part of the existing self-help group model, women apply for loans in order to procure the machine and produce low-cost pads for their communities. All raw materials used in the manufacturing process are locally sourced and are biodegradable. Once a group of women applies for the machine, the company sets it up and also trains them in the production process. This not only provides communities with access to low-cost pads, it also enables women to earn a livelihood. The cost breakup of an operation resembles this table. A standard pack of 8 pads is produced at a cost of Rs 10 and sold at a price of Rs 12.5 per packet. Because the machine can produce 2 pads per minute, this results in 3,000 packets per month, or a profit of Rs 7,500. Flip booklets complement low-cost access by providing knowledge about the importance of menstrual health. Existing village-level health workers, also known as ASHAs, are already trained in the importance of menstrual health and therefore are the ideal candidates for dispensing flip booklet lessons on the menstrual cycle, the proper usage and disposal of pads, as well as general management of menstruation. When used in the past in other countries such as Ghana, for example, flip booklets have been found to increase the incidence of pad usage from 5% to 25%. What would it cost then to provide every single woman in India with access to low-cost sanitary napkins? A simple back-of-the-envelope calculation reveals that there is currently a deficit of 55,600 million pads per year, which can be financed through an investment of $263 million in setting up low-cost pad manufacturing operations. To put this figure in perspective, it is 1/10 the annual budget of some large philanthropic organizations such as the Gates Foundation. To be certain, providing low-cost access to pads as well as knowledge about the importance of menstrual health is but the first step in ensuring a virtuous cycle of continued enrollment as well as better health outcomes. It must necessarily be accompanied by investment in infrastructure such as bathrooms for changing and proper disposal facilities. That being said, the benefits of infrastructural investment can never be reaped unless there is, at the most basic level, access to pads as well as knowledge of the importance of using these pads, which is why pads are the metaphoric low-hanging fruit that we must be reaching out to first. It's a great first gendered innovation to ensure better educational as well as health outcomes for women as well as their daughters in rural India. Thank you.